Want to show off. Good morning. Happy Friday. We are excited to be here with you and talk about the 5 ways that you can be present, right? 5 ways to be fully present. Is that how we said it?
We said it. Yes. 5 ways to focus on being present.
Focus. And we have we know that you guys are positive thinkers, right? You're seekers. You're like, I want to be positive. I want to be living right. I want to be doing good things in the world. And it feels like it's not working for you. It feels like you're living on autopilot instead of really living the elevated life that you want, instead of being able to 10x it, right, Rita?
Yes.
So we're brain trainers. We're Rita and Tammy, and we bring you videos that bring you value to elevate you.
Yes. I'm so excited because Tammy was just talking to me just right before we got on. And, when you have focus and when you're 10 times more excited and you have a path, you have a clear vision of who you are, what you want, what you're going to strive for, your intention. I think that's the number one way. The first way is to have an intention. What is your intention? So Tammy's daughter's getting married. Yay! And so tell me about her intention. Her intention is to get married, right?
Yeah.
Her intention is to have a wedding. Her intention is to get it done. And her focus. So what's her focus been?
Her focus has been a list of things that need to be done in less than 3 months. All right. Engaged on February 14th. The wedding is May 28th. And guys, I want you to think about intention. For some of you that are like, intention, I always intend good things. Think about that as your decision, right? Like she's decided it's going to be this date. And now she's got these things to get done. So in the last week, she's already basically got her caterer down. She's waiting to hear back from them. She's gotten her dress. She's gotten her location, both locations already a deposit and the date set aside. She has her invitations ready and all of the addresses and like all of this in a week. Are you kidding? But this is what can happen when we can really be present and fully focused. So we wanted to share with you a little quote. And, we love positive quotes and positive things. And I would read this and seriously think like, I'm already doing this. What's wrong? I'm already doing this. If you want to be happy, do not dwell in the past. Do not worry about the future. Focus on living fully in the present. And I thought, hey, I'm already doing this, right? And so I guess that's by Roy Bennett. And Rita, come back in.
Well, I just want to really break this down, and I need a visual. So if you want to be happy, right?
Yep.
So what happens is, where's your focus at now? Mm-hmm. Right? Where are you focusing on? We must be focusing on the past. Why do we focus on the past? As brain trainers, we know we focus on the past because
it's a program. All right. So the past is so powerful for creating what you do in your life. All right. You can walk because you learned it. You can talk because you learned it. You can drive a car because you learned it. But you can also be sad, angry, hateful, revengeful because you learned it. All right. So some things happen in your life and you think that you're present, but you're having this reaction and you're like, this isn't what I wanted to treat this person like. This isn't how I wanted to act, but you did. But you don't realize that you're not fully present because you're like, I'm fully here. I'm yelling at them. Right. However, there's something driving that anger and it comes from the past.
Driving. So what's driving you? And I think that's probably the hardest part to figure out. Like, I don't know what's driving me, right? It's your thought, it's your emotion, it's your meaning, the meaning you're making it mean. That's driving you. So there's all these outside circumstances that are driving that inner you to not be present because you're out in the he said, she said, this is my reality. It's my reality. It's true. I feel it. And so, but still, you can feel something, and it doesn't, that feeling, yes, it is present, is happening, but that information is from back in the past. So we're
Oh,
either dwelling on the past or fretting about the future, right? Is that, what's the second part? Do you remember the second part?
yes. If you want to be happy, do not dwell in the past. Do not worry about the future.
Yeah.
Focus on living fully in the present.
And I think, like your daughter, she's getting married. She's not worried about the future. She decided she's getting married. That is the future. She's getting married, and everything inside her is driving her to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's keeping her aligned to what, because she's not grabbing information from the back, because she's doing stuff to pull her forward to the future, but she's doing it moment by moment. Now, if she started to worry and cry and be in her head about getting things done, then we know she's, what was the future thing one?
Then she's worrying about the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So the first,
that holds us, right? Like that prevents us from action. So if you've ever noticed, like, oh, so even this morning I was exercising and I was like, you know what? Because she was talking as she exercised. It's such a great program. She like gets into your head and helps you realize like good things. And I thought, you know what? Because she was talking about forgiveness. If I didn't forgive myself for the mistakes in my exercise, for the inability that I couldn't keep up yesterday, if I wasn't able to let that go, I wouldn't exercise today, because it's going to prevent me from taking action. So if something goes wrong and she's not able to stay present and let go of what goes wrong and move forward and like keep that decision in front of her, that this is her focus, then you know what? We give up on things. That's what we talked about just yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago. We give up then. We're like, oh, it didn't happen before, so it can't happen now. And we just don't even try. And that's a past reference that can happen for people that feel like they're, you know, how come I'm not doing this?
Yep.
Well, you aren't present because this old story is telling you it's not going to happen. So you never try.
Yes. So number one, you want to have an intention for that day, for that moment, for that relationship, for that business, for that engagement. You want to have an intention. So when you walk in, when you wake up in the morning, even before you start,
Yes.
The sunset method, that getting your day completed and future pacing your day. I know this is a lot of different stuff, but you have your intention.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because now you know what you want. Now you know that this is, and what is, being happy is to me, it's part of being successful. Having a progressive realization of a worthwhile desire or endeavor or goal. If you have a worthwhile intention, a worthwhile goal, that's going to get you out of bed.
It's motivating.
It's inspiring. You're touched and you're moved into that. So have your intention, because we know why now, right? And the second one is you want to acknowledge, okay, sometimes we're not where we want. So she would acknowledge, okay, well, I don't have a venue. I don't have this. I don't have. So that's where she's at. That's the current reality she has, right? So she acknowledges where she's at. She accepts where she's at. Okay, yeah, I'm here. I just got engaged. I'm not going to be married tomorrow. Acknowledges where she's at, right? And then she aligns herself to what is it going to take for her to be there, right?
And let me talk about that a second, because okay, so if you have, so like when I was saying, I am fully present, like I'm really angry at him. He did this a year ago. He did this 10 years ago, right? I am really mad at him. I'm present. Guys, that's living in the past. All right. So when you notice that something's stopping you from taking the action, that's the alignment. That's when you're out of alignment. I want to be married, but I'm sitting here not doing anything about it. Let it go. Let it go. You need to bring yourself back to present. What does tapping do? Relaxes your brain and it brings you back to the present. You want to be in alignment with your intention and your decision for that day. When you're not, go searching for, or just know that the past is influencing your present and you're not living fully right there, because otherwise you'd be taking action for it.
Yeah. And I want you to talk to them about the acceptance part, because you have a thing about the acceptance parts. Because look, when you talk about, okay, I'm lazy. Okay. Because you're like, so-and-so. So you accept that you are lazy. You accept whatever's happening. I'm not married. I don't have how can I be happy? I don't have this. So accepting that, talk about that.
I think that,
or tell on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Tell on yourself, noticing what you just thought and then admitting it out loud. I remember the day I thought I should write down every one of my thoughts. And I was like, oh my word, my best friend would even hate me if she knew what I really thought. Like, that's how toxic my thoughts were. But I thought, since I was being nice or trying to do this or, acting a certain way, that was nice. And if I really wrote down my thoughts, they would have been horrible. And now it's time to just admit those horrible thoughts. You don't have to admit them to somebody else. All right. Just say, so if I think, I'm late, if I think she's lazy, then I turn it around and I say, oh, I'm lazy. Why? Because I have an image of her being lazy. So I let it go.
Or a feeling or a sensation right. Or a story. Sometimes it's not even, yeah.
Exactly. A story can create an image for people or a sensation.
Yeah. And it sets your body off to be like bored, sad, depressed. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. And it's so exciting to see this come alive in people when they're starting to realize, oh, I can't believe I thought this. So tell on yourself. The other day, my husband put our dog to sleep and he said, when I went to eat, I almost threw up. And I said, what were you thinking? And he said, I was thinking this is going to be hard to swallow. Now, if he told on himself, exactly, the brain brilliantly produces the exact response in your body. If he had told on himself on the way there when he was going to put her to sleep, this is going to be hard to swallow, let it go, let it go. I'm not going to be able to swallow, let it go, let it go. Telling on yourself means you thought it, you said it out loud, and then you let it go.
So guys, just for, if you guys are new to the channel and you're like, what is this thing? So this is what we call the stress stop technique. And the stress stop technique is down below. You can put a link. There's a link there that will give you a PDF. You're going to print it out and you're going to put it on your wall. Then we're going to send you a video. That video is going to talk to you about the stress techniques. So that's why Tammy's doing some of that. And I think
tapping is the interruption.
The interruption, right? So you want to interrupt that thought, that filter, so it doesn't drive you to be sad, mad, angry, lonely, whatever. So it doesn't drive you to do that. And notice that when notice that when Tammy was aiming, or at that, when she turned it around, she was aiming at that sensation. And then when she starts tapping, you take your focus off of the problem and you look outward, you look right, left, right, smile. And you tap, you smile. Yeah, the stop, smile, tap, deep breath in, blow it out. You're changing the physiology of your body. So those are 5 ways of 5 ways to focus on being present, right? Your intention. You acknowledge by telling on yourself. You accept it by doing the stop stress technique. Now that your brain is calmed down, now that you're not in flight, fight, and freeze, then you align. So what 3 things can you do that are going to pull you towards your intention for the day, for the hour in that relationship? Say that again.
What are you excited about? If you're not excited about it, if you're like, I have to exercise, let it go. I hate exercising. Let it go.
Let it out. Let it flow.
Right? You don't want that sensation. So you get to stop it and then experience something.
Yeah.
It's your happy memory, right?
Yeah. And you get choice. Now you have a choice. Either it's happening, you're acknowledging, you're accepting it. And now you have a choice to either let it run you or to stop it. That's your choice. Isn't that awesome? You get to choose that feeling Before we would say, I don't know. But now you know that you know. Right?
You know how, and hope, and what we want it to do is to line you up with this positive mindset, which is absolutely true. However, if you're in a place where you're like, I'm doing this and it's not working, it really is because you are still living in the past or worrying about the future. That's what it really is. Because when both of those things have cleared away and you have let go, and you can be like fully present, like you experience this inner peace and the sensation that you are empowered to just enjoy the fact that you're breathing, your body's working, you can see, you can hear, you can feel, and happiness is an automatic result.
Yep. And the fifth way to focus on being present is you do all those things and then you act fast. You get 10 times more excited. Okay. Because the brain is going to notice that interruption. It's going to know that alignment. And when you bring it into fruition, once you start acting upon it, your brain will follow. Your brain will be like, okay, we're doing this. I guess we're doing this. And you're going to go there. And those are 5 great ways to really get present. And if you keep doing that, you're training your brain, you're creating new information. I'm not going to say neural pathways.
Code of action.
It's a code of action.
That's right. Then you wake up and you exercise and you're like, oh,
or you wake up and you do this call.
Or you wake up and do this call, or your wedding is all done and you're like, wow, that was easy. Like it puts your body in action and it's aligning up with your actual thoughts, not with something that's holding you back from the past or the worries of the future. So I love how that unfolds for us. Like I knew all this stuff, but I wasn't living it. I wasn't lining up with it.
Yeah, there was something missing, right? There was always like a piss.
I wasn't living present.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't know how.
Right. And I think still, I feel like still sometimes that it's hard to grasp what does it mean to be present? So what was I looking at? So when you're asleep, you're not focused, you're not present,
right?
You're in a deep sleep. You're sleeping, right?
Yeah.
And so a different part of your body is doing what it's doing. So when you are awake, you guys know The Walking Dead, right? It's a TV show. I think it has like 52 series or sessions or seasons. So we're like The Walking Dead, because we don't even know that we know that we know that we know that we don't know that we don't know that we know anything, because we're just programmed. And this is how else can you say not being awake? Like you're not aware, you're a reaction waiting to happen. Your emotional intelligence. How do you know if you're emotionally intelligent?
Well, it's that auto, what do we call it?
Autonomic.
When you feel like you're on autopilot.
Yeah.
And you're like, my day's gone and I didn't do anything different and nothing stood out and it's all the same. You're on autopilot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like driving your car and you get to your destination. You're like, how did I get here?
Scary.
that right there is not being conscious, not being aware.
The only thing that wakes you up is if there was almost an accident or somebody swore, you know what I mean? Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay. And now you're fully present. Now you're like, oh yeah, I gotta watch, I do need to be paying attention and focused. And so hopefully that helps them see, hopefully it helps you see autopilot is this things that you do without thinking. And then something happens that kind of is like, oh my goodness, I need to stay awake.
It gets you here and present. So guys, have fun with this. I mean, you could apply this to every thought. You could apply this to every emotion. You could apply this to every behavior, every action, every event. Like you practice with something small, like breakfast. Okay, what's my intention for breakfast? To have a nice nutritional meal
To fuel my body for fun. So I can go play more and have more fun.
Yeah. So yeah, what's your intention? Right? Because now your brain, there's this part of your brain that's called the reticular activation system. And so if you set the intention, if you write it down, my intention is, what's a good example?
My intention is to be healthy.
That's boring.
Oh, my intention is to play more. My intention is to have more money.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's say you're just going to be wild and you're just going to create this intention. It might be out of your reach, which is kind of good, because when you have a goal that's a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream, right? And let's say it's $1 million. Let's say, and I don't know, it might take you 3 years, 5 years to do it, but your intention for the next 3 years is to focus on finances. Because when you can have finances, you can take care of your family and your loved ones, right? So let's say it's $1 million. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's your intention. Write it down. My intention is to create $1 million. Right. And so step one, that's your intention. How would it look like? How would it feel like? What would you have? What would you be doing? Who would you be servicing? Okay. You want to be servicing something, because who has your money? The people that you're going to service, right? The people you're going to provide value, right? So you find like, okay, I'm going to give value. What kind of value can I give? Coming with that intention. So you have like a whole paragraph, right? And some successful people, say, write your intention in the morning, at night, record yourself with your intention. And if, like, right now, if you're listening right now and you're having a story, look, you can't help it. Okay, you can't help that your brain's going blah, 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 chatter, chatter, chatter. You can't help that your heart's beating hard, like, oh, that's ridiculous, money and corruption and capitalism. That's story, that's program.
Right.
And look, your first step was to have an intention. Your second step is now to acknowledge. So you're acknowledging all this story, all this worry, all this concern, all your past failures, all the ways you've already given up about money. You've given up on money. You're like, oh, I'm a starving artist. Guys, that's a program. Okay. So acknowledge. What else can you say about the intention? And then you can go to the acknowledge.
Oh, the intention is your focus. So if I just think that, even saying like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire or something could be something that you need to interrupt that old programming from. Okay. So that's about it, and acknowledge it.
So talk a little bit about that. Okay. So your intention, you want to create, you're doing your goal setting. You want to have a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream, and it's to be a multimillionaire. Now, what would be the intention? How would you create and develop that intention for yourself?
Oh, sure. So I would think about, what does it mean to be a millionaire? Who am I if I'm a millionaire? Right? Yeah. Well, I'm obviously important to somebody because they thought they should give me their money.
Yeah, you're bringing value. Yes.
Yes. And then, so the intention to be a millionaire is really to have connection, or to have something that other people want.
Okay, good.
Right. So think about, what do people want that that's particular to you? It means that you have a special something that is valuable.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And if that's cutting grass, if that's being a landscaper, if that's being a dog walker, if that means being a pooper scooper, whatever that means, if that's, taking trash out for Walmart, whatever it means. Because when you have a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream, a worthwhile desire, you have this focus, like that's your focus, that's your intention. What you do here, if it's trash or if it's, coaching a multimillionaire so he can have the best relationship in his relationship with his wife. Like, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter because it's bigger. So now you acknowledge it, right? You're acknowledging where you are. What is your current reality? You're acknowledging like, okay, well, I don't got $1 million. Okay. Okay, great.
I don't have a skill. I don't have I don't know how. So to acknowledge is to kind of admit those things that like, I haven't done it yet. It's rare, right? Only 1% of the top 1%. So now you're just acknowledging that you haven't done it before, like you're living in the past.
Yep.
Right? Clean that up.
So yes. So if, like Tammy says, look, maybe you start at getting a skill. Maybe you go get a talent. I'm not saying go to college, because poor college kids, they're not in their fields, right? That's why I said, go be a landscaper, go be a pooper scooper, go be a nanny, go do whatever it takes that's going to give other people value so they can give you. And then of course you have to save it, right? You can't be like spending. That's part of our culture as well, is that we are consumers. We're just consuming, and we're not taking responsibility. We're not being responsible for our success. And what is our success? A progressive realization of a worthwhile dream, desire, goal, right?
Exactly.
So once you acknowledge it, like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have, and if you're crying right now and you're sad and you're mad, that's when you start doing the stop stress technique, right? Because when you start taking a thought, crushing it, flattening it, it no longer drives you. Is it fear? Well, I can, and I don't know how, whatever it is, you start flattening them. And look, this might take you a month, 6 months, but you will notice that as you're flatlining whatever it is that you're telling on yourself, the story, because this is going to keep helping you bring it. This is 5 ways to get, to be focused on being present, because now you're being present and you're being present. Let's see what else. So you're acknowledging, you accept it. Okay, I'm just a loser. I didn't graduate. I didn't have it. I didn't do this. Oh, poor me. Oh, I'm not capable enough. So you do the stress techniques over and over and over until you start changing those, until they start flipping, because they're going to flip in your brain. Like, oh yeah, I could go poop scoop for 2 years, bank all that money, right? Put that money into an investment, a worthwhile investment that's going to pay you passive income, right? I'm not saying to go spend it. I'm not saying to go buy your Louis Vuitton bag, right? If multimillionaires, you want to get to there, and this is what Tammy and I are working on, guys. So we're putting our butts on the line. We're on the court. That's why we're here, giving you value. And we do have a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. And that's to make sure that everybody in our circle of influence actually knows how to stop stress, how to be able to create.
We know the power of stress in the body. And what stress is creating is illness and disease. And it's 90% responsible for this kind of stuff. And so to create something where you're living your dream, and, part of your intention is what do you love? What do you love to do? And how then can you go and make $1 million from that? Yeah. That's really good.
Collect $1 million. You're collecting.
And
if
the reason it's
$1 million, that's fraud, I think.
Oh, just circulate $1 million. That would be great too. So, what was I going to say about that? It's just great to, our mission is to give you the freedom to drive your own brain, to deal with stress effectively,
to have choice,
have a positive mindset naturally. You guys are the ones that want a positive mindset. And we figured out that there's a lot more to it than just reading a positive book. There's a way of living it.
Yes.
And that's why we're passionate about that. We think this is way more valuable than $1 million.
And this is what gets us out of bed. Guys, it's like, 4 a.m. here. No, just kidding. No. It feels like it.
We're up at 4. No.
Yeah. And so there's a natural inner drive because look, the fourth step would be alignment. Okay. So how do I align myself to that vision? And it's a moment to moment thing. It's a day to day thing. So every day you're going to align yourself to like, okay, what skill do I need? What talent do I need? What connection do I need? What do I need to create? What is there to create that is going to put me on the court? Look, most of the time for me, I was in my head, guys. I was in my head, chatter, 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 never on the court, never on the call, never giving value. I mean, I gave value, but it was very, very minuscule. It was not enough to get out of bed. Now it's enough to get out of bed, right? So you want to align yourself. You're going to keep doing that day by day, moment by moment, thought by thought. And that's how you get present because it becomes layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's the big layer, right?
Yep.
$1 million. There's the emotional layer, the intellectual layer. There's the service layer. You're going to give because this thing is going to repeat over and over. So you're going to do these 5 ways to focus on being present every day.
Your alignment is so much about your inner belief, your limiting belief. And if you're wondering what those are, then go back to that acknowledgement and acceptance piece and start saying those thoughts out loud. You'll find your limiting beliefs, write them down, right? Like, I can't do this because I never did it before. Use the stop technique. Stop allowing the past to define your future and get happy because there's an advantage to happiness. And if you can be fully present and you can be happy, that's attractive.
Yeah. Happiness is going to be a byproduct. When you have a worthwhile dream, when you have a worthwhile progressive realization, you're realizing that $1 million intention, when you're realizing that, and it's coming in baby steps, guys, you're not going to be that, some of you could create it quicker just by a little shift in mindset. Okay. But this is the 5th way is the most important way is to act fast, get 10 times more intentional, 10 times more excited, day by day, moment by moment, reining every thought, reining in everything that's going to momentum, right? You're going to get momentum. You're going to be in the throw. You're assimilating. You're in the throw of creating, and you're going to be so inspired, in touch, and you're going to be moved to do this. And then happiness happens.
Exactly.
Because of you, not for you, but because of you. Yeah.
Right. And your happiness is going to come when you let go of that past and you let go of those worries. And that's also going to be a natural result of happiness. And when you're happy, it's easy to act. Okay. You're going to want to act. You're going to desire it. You're going to love it. And your brain loves patterns. And so once you've eliminated what's going on in the past and the worries of the future, then you'll be present and happy. Your brain's going to love that state and it's going to start to do it for you. And it's going to love acting. And you're going to be like, how come I'm doing all of this stuff all the time? And, maybe you've heard successful people be like, I love this, right? They learned to love it.
Yeah. Learn to love the process. And the process is 5 ways of being focused.
Fully focused on the present, right?
Yeah. If you love that process, if you love, if you love these ways of being focused, on being present, on being here, if you love this process, like, okay, there's my intention. Okay, there's my, acknowledgement. I'm telling on myself, okay, I'm accepting the fucked upness that I'm in, whatever it is. And you do the stop stress technique and you realign yourself. And then you act on that alignment. You act on that and you keep doing that. Love that process. If you love that process, you're going to get a brand new skill. You're going to get that pattern in the brain that's going to drive. Yeah.
And get excited that you know how. If nothing else, just like, oh, I have this thing going on I'm so angry about that's driving me crazy. I have this thought in my head that's making me so sad. I have this, like, you know how, let it go, let it go, let it go. Interrupt it. Use the stop stress technique, which is smile, tap, get that oxygen, and then be fully present, be playful, be persistent on driving your brain to that good feeling of your goal.
Yeah, the progressive goal of realizing it, guys. It's not one and done. It's a progressive. You know, have you ever had reached that goal and you're like, oh,
now what?
Anticipation was greater than realization. Yeah. But look, when you have a worthwhile, that's why you don't want to have a goal that you can achieve. And you can have targets and you can have, goals, but you want to have an intention for your life, your overall vision for your life, because realizing that is going to be the process where you're going to have a purpose, a drive.
So it continues even after you reach the little milestones. And when we make it more about the journey than about the goal, like, wow, this is going on in my journey. And now I've made it to this far in my journey. Like, what's next? Then you can not stagnate at those milestones and goals and continue to progressively grow, because that's what it's about, right? If you're always growing, that is a worthwhile goal.
That is definitely.
You can do it forever.
Yeah, forever. You can't do it anymore. Guys, we're super excited, and Tammy and I are 100% committed to you, to giving you value. We're 100% committed to get the word out about how you can work with your brain, how the mechanics of the brain works. So we love doing this. This is a passion that we have. Thank God that we enjoy, because if it would not be fun. But I do want to tell you, like, look, we have the SMART technique. We have the Magic Monday technique. We have the Aim and Tap technique. We have the Wisdom Wednesday technique. We have the Throwback Friday thought techniques. We have the Throw Flow. We have the Freedom Friday. We have the Stimulating Saturday. We have the Stop Stress technique. We have emotional intelligence. We have a laundry list of ways to help you. And this is through brain training. So it's not like pie in the sky.
That's right. And if it is a pie in the sky, make it be Jaffa pie.
We have a thing in our work that we know that the brain loves creativity. We know that the brain hooks on big emotions that are, so if you're going to have a fantasy, have it a good one, right?
That's right.
So if it's a pie in the sky that's driving you to your realization, have it.
It is exciting that way. And letting go of the past and letting go of the future worries, like, it's just going to bring you, so it's going to make you feel like, I remember people talking about grounded, and I'm like, and they'll say that to me now. People will be like, well, you're so grounded. I'm like, oh, really? Like, and it's just a natural byproduct. And the same thing with happiness. How come you're happy? Is because I'm not living in the past or worrying about the future. And if I am, I know what to do. And that's what we want to empower you with.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, happiness is a byproduct of you being there. So Tammy, let's reread the last part.
If you want to be happy, do not dwell in the past. Do not worry about the future. Focus on living fully present.
Yeah.
Now, we opened that up for you and unpackaged it, right? And unwrapped it and gave you more insight into how to do that.
Yeah. Can you imagine fully in the present? Every day is an opportunity to be fully in the present when you have that worthwhile realization, that you're realizing this worthwhile intention. Yeah. Try it on, guys. Let us know, how you got inspired, enlightened, or maybe what area you need more clarity. I mean, I was telling Tammy, I go, okay, I think we need to go a little bit slower. I know we went fast, but we went longer, which means it's slower.
And we gave a lot of information. So, wherever you're at, just take the little piece that you could hold on to and start there. All right. Just start with one little piece that works for you, and let that be just all you have to do. Okay.
Yeah. You know what?
Don't make it hard. Don't make it confusing. The one thing you got, just do that.
You know what I'd like to do? And I'd like to maybe create the $1 million club. You don't have to have 1 million. The purpose of this club is to get you to 1 million. Would that be like super fun?
Super fun. Yeah.
Because look, we're in the same journey, guys. We're waking up. We weren't, we're not there. It's a progressive realization of that. So you're going to see our journey. You're going to really see if this brain training, this 10X brain training really works.
Right. And we might just be a step ahead. I remember hearing the story of this kid who, he did all of these crazy things. Like he was in NASA, like helping build rockets or whatever. And he was teaching class at this great school, and they caught him because he was fake. He didn't have any of the skills or training or anything. And they asked him after they caught him, like, how did you run this great company? And how did you build a rocket? And he said, I was just one step ahead of everyone else. So all he did was take and learn the next chapter basically of the book. And so then he could have the information that they were going to need for the next step. And so think of us as just the next step ahead. If you really, if you resonated with this, if you're like, is that it? Is that all I have to do? Instead of making it hard and difficult and keeping yourself stuck in that, right?
10X millionaires, guys. Yeah. And that's inspiring me because look, Tammy and I, we're looking for people to partner up with. We're looking for a community that we can inspire each other, that we can drive our brain to that worthwhile realization of an intention that is worth getting up in the flipping morning, right?
Happiness. The $1 million is so that we can go and enjoy the beaches and enjoy the connecting and just being together.
And it's our duty. It's our duty to be successful. And what is success, guys? It's our duty to have a progressive realization of a worthwhile ideal intention. That is our duty as human beings, right? We came here, we're born to what? Mediocrity, conformity.
To leave an impact, to make a difference.
Even if it's in your own life, make a difference. At least learn to lead yourself. That way you can lead your neighbors, your children, your community, your parents, your extended family.
Yeah. And deep in your soul, you want this. You don't want to be saying something and not doing it. Yeah. We don't want to be saying, wow, there's so much value in this, and then not doing it. We don't want to be saying it and not receiving the value that comes from the fact that this is how.
Yeah. It's a journey. You mentioned about a journey. It's a progressive realization of a worthwhile doing this 10X million. It's going to be an opportunity to propel you and move. We need to move the earth. We need to move our earth, and I'm excited. I'm excited for you. If you guys want to join that 10X millions, let us know. We're going to create a group where that is our focus. Okay. And so we're going to come in here. We're like, okay, this is what I can do. Okay. You can do this. You can go here. You can team up with this person. We need to partner up with other people, and that maybe they have a different attribute. Like Tammy, she's a happy queen. So I'm like, I need that girl on my team because, that's what's driving her, right? That's what's driving her. Not that I'm not happy. I'm just a different way of expressing, so I appreciate that from her, and I value that. So what is it that you value? Get an intention, do the 5 ways of being focused, and create a life that you love. Anything
That's
else?
right.
We always
No,
have fun things,
perfect.
right? Do you want to tell them about what we have coming up?
All right. So tonight we still have anger management. So helping people manage like what is in their past that's triggering and pushing their buttons, right? So that they continue to have this anger problem when they want to be calm, cool, and collected. And then next month we have legendary moms. And this is all about knowing how to be the mom that doesn't have regrets, knowing how to be the happy mom that raises kids that know how to be happy. So you're going to want your kids to be happy when they're adults. You're going to be like, oh my word, my kids aren't happy. They're sick. They're doing this. They're doing that. Well, guess what? You get to be their example. So let's be a really good example to them. And let's learn that in that class. And then we have Breaking the Habit the next month. Breaking the habit of being yourself. And of course, all of what we talked about today is breaking the habit of being yourself, right? Like noticing those thoughts that are popping up and changing the habit of thinking negatively, changing the habit of smoking and drugs and eating the foods you don't want. Those are habits, and the brain is driving you instead of you driving the body with your thoughts and thinking. So those are out of alignment, and we want to help you get those aligned. And then lastly is Think and Shrink. And this is all about the food we eat serving us instead of being drawn to foods that leave us unhealthy and unfit. And so you don't have to, exercise and change your diet. But if the cravings you have, the cravings that are for foods that aren't serving your purpose in life, like to go and do fun things with your kids, to be able to walk with your grandkids, to be able to tie your shoes, and whatever else that your goal is in life on earth for your physical body, come there, because this is all about not only body positivity, but really dealing with the cravings that are not serving you. Think and Shrink.
Very good.
And that's all of them.
Yeah, guys, and those are free. And because they're free, because we want you to know that you can train your brain to drive you to those things that you do want. And one of it is be the mom that you want to be. Mm-hmm. Breaking the habits that you have. You might have some sort of addiction, some sort of anger, some sort of drinking thing. Find out why the brain is doing what it's doing, and find those resources and flip them and switch them. And then we have, what's the other one? Did you say? Breaking the Habit? Oh, Think and Shrink. Right. They are free. They're 5-day. This is like a 5-day challenge through brain training, allowing you to really step into how you are doing it to you. Like you have a problem, you have an issue, and we want to know how you have this problem, this issue. How are you doing it inside your head? Not only that, we are going to have after after you get an idea of how the brain works and how to do it yourself, and you notice the changes and shifts occurring, and you want more information, we're going to do a special boot camp that we're just going to drill down for 3 days or 5 days straight, that you're going to be like a boot camp, right? We're just going to train. You go to the gym boot camp to learn how to do techniques and steps. That is going to help you go to the next level. So when you're ready for that level, when you just want maintaining, we have a maintaining group that we maintain. We go in there with our problems. We know how to switch, we know how to flip, and it goes effortlessly. So a lot of fun stuff.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, use those techniques. The stop stress technique is below. And, we hope that you're aware enough to think of those thoughts, say them out loud, and let them go. It's the best technique for changing yourself that I have ever found. And I agree. Been doing it for 25 years. I'm positive mindset. Yeah. So 21
It's very logical. It's very tangible. And you'll learn that in the 5-day free seminars, webinars that we have. And also you get to apply it when you go into the boot camps. It really, really works. And that's why we're doing it. And this is why I think it's important for us to share it to you. So thank you. What do they do?
Like, subscribe, and share. Share this with people that you know are going through things right now and they feel helpless. They feel helpless. They feel like this stuff out here is making them sad, depressed. There's a lot of depression going on. Share this with them because you want to empower them to be able to do it for themselves. If you're responsible to do it for them, guess what? You're going to deal with your own health issues and your own stress dealing with that, right? So give them this tool and then just click the notifications so you know when we go live next time. And peace out. We love your comments and your questions, and we'll do our best to help you empower yourself.
Totally. All right, guys. Love you.